Hello everybody and welcome to our coverage of episodes 61 and 62 of Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu, Skybound, whatever you want to call this season. As per usual, I'm Messina.
I'm LJ.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
And today we're going to be doing our usual 2-episode review of the latest 2 episodes of Ninjago. So, to reiterate, it's a review. We're not going to stream the episodes. If you want to check the episodes out, you can either check the link in the description below, or you can watch them on TV whenever they actually get around to airing them in America to support your favorite Ninjago theme, which I would advise you do anyway, even if you are watching them right now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into our usual recap of the episodes. LJ, go ahead and kick us off with episode 61, Wishmasters.
Okay, episode 61, Wishmasters. So this was a crazy episode, and really it should have been titled Antics Heavily Ensue and Intensify Greatly. The episode starts off, and we are formulating a plan here, people. We have got to get on the ball. We got to get Jay back. We got to do what we can. So it's Nia, Lloyd, and Cole, as well as Dareth again. And Dareth now has aviators, so apparently he's a movie director now, instead of just commercials. What does he do? He calls in the best people he knows for the job. Screenwriters. But not just any screenwriters. Literally, the 2 screenwriters that write Ninjago. What are their names, Messa?
Kevin and Dan Hageman, right? Hageman or Hageman?
I feel so bad for not
Well, I may be wrong. Purple, am I correct?
Yep.
The Hageman brothers? Okay, awesome.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Nailed
they're
it!
called in, and we we spend a good 3.5 or so minutes with them explaining what the ninja are gonna do, and you feel like you kind of get an insight as to how Ninjago episodes are made, and we'll get onto that in a second. So, move on. Nadakon, he's got Jay, of course, and they're doing a thing. They're making more of Ninjago. We get to see the temple that we saw last year. Nadakon delivers a really funny line. Oh, that the ghosts are so last year. The temple's brought up from the ground. We see the ghosts, we see the master, we see his students, and the temple starts getting washed down. So water, so the ghosts hide and run and whatnot. So, they're doing their thing. They want to find Nia, and now that's the big deal. Ninja, they dress up as ninja. Sorry, they dress up as pirates. That is like the second time in 2 days I've done that. So the ninja, they dress up as pirates. They get a little bit of voice coaching, and the plan is Cole is going to turn invisible. He's going to take a vial of venom. He's going to switch it out for some vial of something else in Nadakon's bedroom, and he's going to find Jay. He's going to bring him back, and they're going to get the heck out of Dodge. Well, in order to do that, they build a version of like one of those little scout ships that Nadakon has floating around him in the new Ninjago. So they do that. Cole gets on. He's kind of a scrub. Finds Jay. Unleashes Jay. Nadakon comes in. They don't switch the vial of venom. Jay is revealed to be escaped. Cole's a mook. Jay's a mook. They run all about. And meanwhile, we have Clancy.
Yep. The snake.
Awesome. I remembered. Clancy, he finds Lloyd and Nia, and Lloyd's supposed to be mute because he can't do a good pirate voice. Well, that doesn't work very well. So Clancy figures they're actual, just like, crewmates. He's like, do this, do that, find the escaped person. He walks away, and long story short, they get caught. All the ninja get caught. So, ninja are kind of in a pit. Nia is having dinner with Nadakon. Not going in Nadakon's favor very well. Let me see here. What happens after that? I kind of forget.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, okay. So, Nia's refusing, and what does Nadakon do? What's a pirate gonna do? Walk the plank. So, Lloyd, Jay, Cole, they're all brought out. They're gonna walk the plank. Well, who's going first? It's Cole because he's a ghost, and ghosts don't do water. They all have a bunch of wishes. Between all of them, they have at least 10 wishes. So what do? They start using them against Jay's advice. Cole wishes that the stones, someone wishes that the stones on them, their ankles, made their powers stronger instead of not at all. Now I thought that was really good. So they get their power, they're almost overpowered, they break out of the chains and they're back to normal power and they start fighting. Everyone's suddenly using wishes left and right. Boom, I wish for this. Boom, I wish antics ensued. Boom, they are now. Boom, boom, boom. And a bunch of things that are either working in their favor or working against them or just not working at all. So antics are ensuing everywhere. Monkeys flying over the place. Jay just screaming his head off. Stop using wishes. Don't do this. They're using wishes left and right. Lloyd's getting older. Cole is... well, he's Cole. Jay is like, going, stop it. Don't use wishes. Finally, they all get chucked off of the ship and into the clouds, which... Okay, we'll get into that in a second. But they all land on the clouds, and the clouds are like basically a trampoline. Lloyd is turning older by the minute now. Because of the earlier antics ensuing, he is now incredibly old, decrepit, and they do this, that, and the other thing. Flintlock is no longer a good shot anymore. He kind of sucks. So on the clouds, more antics. Jay and Nia escape. And Cole and Lloyd are sucked into the sword. Jay and Nia escape. They get out of Dodge. Flintlock, he tries to go after them, but he's scrubbed. Jay and Nia create a super Mondo dragon made of water and electricity. They get away, and that's the end of the episode.
Yup. And now you can go ahead and also do the last resort.
Okay, last resort. So, the police are currently trying to protect Jay and Nia. Jay is the last one with one wish that he, of course, has. Lloyd, because of the prior episode, wishing that he had infinite wisdom, kind of like Wu, decided, listen, you're going to do this. You're going to make your last wish. It's going to be from the heart, dude, because you have a heart. We all do. We're Lego minifigures. And before he gets sucked in the sword. So, what? Okay. So Jay and Nia, they're hidden. They're trying to escape. They're trying to figure out where to go to hide while Jay figures out this final wish. They're in the police station. The police are failing. The pirates are attacking, but they get the heck out of Dodge. And where do they go? They go to the prison, the lighthouse, where Zane's father was held when the skeletons wanted him to make things. So they go there, check their supplies. They got travelers' tea as a last resort. They got the Tiger Widow venom, and they have food, of course. Why not? So they're hiding there, and they're doing their thing. Of course, we see a little itty-bitty head kind of in the stairway, as though someone else is watching. All the while, back on the pirate ship, they've captured the cops. And we have this kind of funny moment where the cops are being sent over the plank. They're all sent over the plank. And they get chucked into the water, and they find like a Bowie or Bobby. I forget what they're called. It's a thing floating in the water. And, well, the commissioner is a great swimmer. The other two are fine, but they are sharks. So we get that whole, oh, your eyes are twitching, I'm not blind thing again. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
it's very weird.
Yeah, I don't understand it. So they do that. But now Natakan is aware that the ninja have the venom. Great. Because of that happening and because of all this, Flintlock, he tries to do the mutiny thing. That doesn't work. He gets bumped to the bottom rung. And the Serpentine is promoted, I think, to his position. Or at least above Flintlock.
Yeah, I think he's just above Flintlock. Like,
Okay.
everyone went up a rung.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know who the new first mate is. So, Clancy, by the way, is the only one on the crew with wishes, which is kind of interesting. So, he still has wishes to use. That'll come into play later. So, anyway, back in the lighthouse, they're doing their thing. Nia and Jay, they're having a conversation. They're talking about it. And all of a sudden, it's Zane. It's a rusted, old Zane. And apparently it was a replacement Zane that was made at some point. And they're calling him, like, what, Echo Zane, I guess?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, they have him, and they're going to kind of talk to him and get a third perspective on what Jay's wish should be. So, let's see. Back on the ship, the pirate ship, nobody knows where to find the two of them, Nia and Jay, although they really just want Nia. So, Natakan comes to Clancy. He's like, hey, buddy, you've got wishes. I'm going to be very nice to you. That's a lie. If you've seen the episode, you know he's not very nice. He
Nope.
threatens Clancy. Hey, say a wish. Want to know where they are. What does he do? He says a wish. He wants to know where they are. They know where they are. They go find them. And Jay and Nia, they know where they are. So they're freaking out a little bit.
They know that they know.
They know that they know where they are, that they know. So they go through this sequence. It was basically Home Alone, the Lego version. They fix up the entire lighthouse. They do this and everything. And the pirates arrive. And again, just Home Alone. It basically antics ensue in a kind of funny way. So they're fighting. Tower's breached. They're both fighting someone. Jay is fighting like the weird Clayface dude, and then Nia's fighting Big Bertha, or whatever her name is, Dog Shank, shanking dogs.
Yeah.
So they're fighting, some of the tea is spilled on the ground, the Traveler's tea, Dog Shank's out of the fight, gone. She actually ends up with the spider on that one island and scares the living tar out of it. So, pot gets stolen, Echo Zane, he's in here, he's fighting, falls to pieces. So, let me see, what else happens?
More stuff.
So, yeah, they, Nia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nia and Jay, they get the pot back. Last resort. What are they going to do? Things aren't looking too good. There's only enough drops left for the Traveler's Tea for one person. So earlier they had this great big discussion. Oh, I want this to be my future, and then Jay, you do this and that. And it's a really heartfelt discussion, and we'll get to that in a moment. Nia pushes Jay into the portal, fights the pirates herself, loses, gets captured. She has the venom, and it's up to Jay with his one wish to save the day. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh boy, these 2 episodes were certainly quite eventful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Wishmasters, of course, because chronology and all that. That's fine. What did you think about Wishmasters?
It was okay. There were only a couple things that really stood out to me, and they were more minor details. But the fact that, like, the ninja were just, like, frantically using their wishes all of a sudden, it seemed really odd that they were, like, panicking to such a degree. Like, if they had, like, made some sort of plan on how to, like, use their wishes, then I could understand it, but they were just, like, panicking.
Mm-hmm. Quite true. Do you have anything else to say? Or do you want to go to LJ? Because I have some stuff to say, but I don't want you guys to go first because I'm in a rant.
Oh, okay. Well, another thing I noticed was, where was Ronan? Like, if he saved the ninja at the end, like, where did he go?
What are you talking about? Purple, he was there to make that one snarky comment and then never be seen again. That obviously justifies his existence in the series.
Well, obviously, that was super important then.
No, it's like, no, that was weird. Yeah. LJ, do you want to go first, or do you want me to just go?
I kind of want you to go first, because my opinions slightly go against yours.
Let's go. This episode was probably my least favorite in the season so far. There were good moments. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Ninjago episode, so it still has comedy and character and cool villains and a good plot and whatnot. So it's not like it was a bad episode, but the positives are greatly outweighed by the negatives in my eyes. I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll start from the top with the scene with the Hagman brothers, or Hageman, I'm not sure how to pronounce their names. I think it's Hagman. That scene felt really weird. Yeah, Dan and Kevin. It was a really weird scene because it kind of went beyond a simple like cameo or a joke. It felt like it stretched on a little too long, almost to the point of like just being, I don't know what word, uncomfortable or forced or whatnot. It was. There are two groups of people. Either you understand the reference or you don't. I understood the reference and I found it quite funny for about 30 seconds until they then started going far too in-depth, I think, for the joke, to the point where it became very distracting. I was not that big of a fan of that. Like Purple said, where was Ronan? He showed up, like, once. They didn't even use his vehicle to save the ninja. They used a police chopper. So if it was really essential to have Ronan be in that scene, I feel like he should have been a part of, at least if not the mission, then at least he should have been there with the cops at the end of the episode when they all shot at Flintlock. But he wasn't. He just vanished into thin air. So once again, he continues to perplex me. There was this weird scene with Nauticon that I don't think you really touched upon during your recap, where like there were people who came up to the ship and they wanted to be part of the pirate crew, and he talked to them for like a good minute, and he gave them like names or whatever, and they were trying to like awkwardly be a part of the pirate crew, and he just eventually said, "Get them out of here." It wasn't funny. It felt like it was maybe a reference to something that I wasn't necessarily understanding, but it didn't click with me. I didn't understand it.
That part was kind of weird. Like, the only logical explanation I can think of it for, like, existing is to show where, like, all these other pirates are coming from. Like, they're just all volunteer pirates.
That's
But
true,
other
I
than
guess,
that,
because he
it
does have a
seemed
pretty
kind
large
of
crew
unnecessary.
of random people, so
Yeah.
I guess it does make sense from that perspective. But that was weird. Now, the biggest problem I have with the entire episode is just general questions and or stupidity with Cole and Jay. Because Cole went in there with a mission. It was put the venom in Nauticon's, I guess, drink or whatever, so he would drink the venom, and then go find Jay. But Jay, for some reason, that I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering or if they actually explained it, he was in Nauticon's quarters, just in a corner, like sitting there. I thought he was going to be thrown into like his pit or whatever, which is where they got him from initially. I thought he was going to be there permanently, but no, he's just sitting in Nauticon's room, huddled in a shadowy corner, and Cole sees him, and he like completely forgets about the venom, and he goes to like pick the lock on Jay's ball and chain, get him out of there. And then when Nauticon comes into the room, instead of saying, go back where you were, he tells him to hide in a closet, and then he throws the ball and chain, like, across the room onto his bed, I think. Plain in sight. And then he just hides himself because he can turn invisible. And then, obviously, Nauticon finds him. And instead of finishing his job by putting the venom in his glass, he just bails. And he tells Jay, like, meet up with the other ninja, go get your dragon. And Jay says, I can't, because I've been cleaning. And all I could think of, like, I'm tired, I don't have energy, I've been locked away. And I'm like, Cole, why don't you use your dragon and send Jay back to go get the venom? Why is that not a thing you can do? And then it just goes out of control from there with the powers and the antics and using their wishes and the clouds, which Cole can stand on even though clouds are made of water. And old Lloyd being aged up again for the second time in the series. It was just a non-stop barrage of questionable moments that ranged from just a little perplexing to me from an overcritical viewpoint to honestly pretty annoying. My biggest problem with the season so far is that the ninja are not displaying that much intelligence. They're all being conned way too easily. And the fact that they would completely disregard what's happened to half their crew at this point, or a little under half their crew, Kai and Zane are gone, and they chastised Jay so much for using their wishes. The fact there was this prolonged sequence where they all just randomly blurted out wishes with no regard for how it could be turned against them was more than a little off-putting, even though some of them did work out in their favor. It's not like they completely messed up. There were a few things that ended up panning out. It's more the principle that bothers me. And honestly, that's where I have to end with this. I'll let you guys step in. Counterpoints. Go.
No, I agree. It was kind of all over the place, in my opinion. Like, the idea of, like, some big mission to get Jay, like, seems okay, but it wasn't executed very well.
We're how many seasons into this show now, and the fact that the ninja are still making these novice mistakes for the sake of comedy, question mark, maybe to some people. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But, no, LJ, what'd you think?
Okay. I don't agree entirely with you on a lot of these points, honestly. As far as the Hegman brothers, I hope that's how their name is pronounced. Oh my goodness.
If not, I apologize.
As far as, yeah, if not, sincerest apologies. I liked that part. I actually thought it was really funny. I thought it, like, in the story, it made a lot of sense. Like, where are you gonna get screenwriters if not when you're doing commercials? I found it funny. I enjoyed it. I do feel that for a time it was a little uncomfortable because you're going to sit on one of two different sides if you're in on that joke. You're either not going to like the joke because it's too self-referential and you already know who they are, you know what this is like, you know what is going on. Or if you're not in on, or, you know, if you know the joke, you're going to find it funny because it's the writers, they're in the world they have helped craft. It's kind of funny that they're there and they know this. It's bordering on breaking the fourth wall, but because they don't explicitly say it, it's still quite funny. It comes really close. I liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of I felt like we were getting an insight into how these episodes are made. like the two of them just bouncing ideas off of each other. I was a little bit worried that it was going to kind of spoil everything for us, which it didn't. But, that was the case. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I'll reiterate, like, it's not the joke or the reference or the cameo that I took issue with. It was mainly the length of the joke.
I don't think it ran that long, to be honest.
Yeah.
I could see
almost
it
3
being a
minutes.
little uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, like, they were there for a little bit, but then they had that montage. So, there was that. What else? Cole's a complete mook. Yeah. I understand they needed that to happen for the plot to progress, but it seems like Cole is, unfortunately, next to Kai, the dumbest in the ninja. He's not very intelligent, and they don't explicitly remind people of this, but he's kind of that stereotype of muscular, bulking, jock, but also a tiny brain.
Yeah, that kind of bothers me because, like, Cole used to be regarded as, like, the leader of the team who would, like, stay up all night trying to think of all these strategies, like, for their battle plans and stuff, but now he's just,
He's not bright. But
yeah.
So Cole
Kai's worse.
His powers are heavily underutilized, and it really sucks. I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So that whole sequence is weird. I highly disagree with you on the wish scene. I thought that it was refreshing to me how the wishes were going in their favor. I liked how that was happening. Not all of them did, sure, but Flintlock not being able to shoot, using their powers to break them out of the Deus Ex Machina stone. I liked that. I thought that was cool. Sure, they were off-the-cuff wishes, but a lot of them actually worked greatly in their favor. The one I didn't like was toward the end, and it was the cloud thing. Cloud thing and the sword from Lloyd. Actually, Lloyd's wish as well. Lloyd's wish made sense. I want to be wise like, what's his name? However, because of that, he also got older. Does make sense. Makes a lot of sense. However, I hope they undo that, because this is the second time he's been aged up by a huge degree in a short period of time. The sword thing, I understand that too. It's kind of weird, but whatever. The cloud thing is the one that gets me the most, because the thing with clouds is that they're made of water. And Cole is bouncing around on clouds. There's no way he's not dying. And this brings into discussion, well, are they just kind of resistant to water? Does mist affect them at all? Would one drop of water kill them, or would a whole tidal wave do it? It's really weird. It's really inconsistent. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I liked that whole wish sequence. I thought that was well done. I agree with Ronan, but I liked the wishes. I thought that was good.
Like, the wishes, it was dumb luck that they worked in their favor.
Sure, but
That's my
I
thing.
liked seeing that.
It's flagrant disregard for both the characters' intentions over the earlier part of the season and also just common sense.
I mean, that's the thing.
Why
though.
would they
Majority of them
stand
have-
there and wish when they could summon their dragons? Jay's excuse for why he could not summon his dragon was because he was tired and he was devoid of energy, which is a new thing, the new limitation to summoning your dragon, but it does make sense because he's been held prisoner and he's been scrubbing the ship. That was the excuse given. If they had said, well, this ball and chain I'm wearing locks down my elemental powers or weakens them, then that same excuse could be applied to the rest of the ninja because they were locked up for a short period of time. But that wasn't the reason that was given. The reason that was given was that Jay had been working and he was tired. So, when they all broke out, and they used that one wish, fine, to strengthen their powers, their next course of action should have been, let's get out of here. Not, oh hey, let's stand around and keep on wishing, even though we just told Jay 2 episodes ago how much of an idiot he was for wishing. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And just because a few happened to work in their favor, did it make for an entertaining sequence? Yes. Did it make for a logical sequence? No.
Well, didn't they want to also get the sword?
They did also want to get the sword. That was the thing.
Yeah. Now, I do kind of agree to an extent, but I just did like that sequence. I thought it was enjoyable.
Okay.
I thought it was funny. I was happy to see wishes going in their favor for once. I still had a lot of fun with it.
It was
Because
quite funny, and it was certainly entertaining.
the wishes are a really interesting concept, and it's very interesting that they have those stipulations in mind. However, this episode also revealed to me a thought I had just now. If Clancy has wishes, and all that matters is that, like, Notakon hears them, why wouldn't Notakon just say, hey, wish that Nia was here right now?
It's a very
Done.
good point.
Wow.
We're all done.
It's a very, very good point.
It's like, you can't wish for love, so he wouldn't ask, hey, wish that I was married to her right now. Just wish that she was there. Or
That's,
I just thought of that.
yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
hey,
let's
look,
move
as
on
much
to
as
the
I,
next episode.
in closing all this, as much as I do bash on this show sometimes with Cole being a ghost and also this for logical inconsistencies, this isn't like a Ninjago problem. Stuff like this happens all the time in shows and also in other cartoons and whatnot. It's the age-old problem where how far do you really push the boundaries of logic to tell entertaining stories? And that's always going to be a problem that writers deal with. Because there are points where you can stretch and bend the rules and, bend character motivations to the point where it doesn't make you step back and actually question narrative coherence. And you can do it within reason. Sometimes I just feel it's a little too much. But that's my closing remark. Onward to the next episode. So, what do you guys think of this one?
I actually liked it quite a bit. I thought it was really entertaining, like all the fight scenes and drama and stuff.
Aldo told me you were quite a fan of this episode. I wasn't really around when you were talking about it, but what'd you like about it?
Like I said, I like the fight scenes, the drama. It seems like there are a lot of callbacks to previous things. Like the title itself, The Last Resort, sounds a lot like The Last Voyage, which it was an episode from season 2. And plus it took place in the same location and everything.
Hey, that's probably a reference then.
And there's also, a little tea robot in the lighthouse too. And just like little things like that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very entertaining episode. I quite liked all the fight scenes as well as the callbacks, like you said. Echo Zane was nice. I really liked seeing him.
Yeah, he's very popular.
It's a fun little,
amongst the
little
fandom.
additional... It's an additional little bit of, I wouldn't say world building, but more like character building for Zane's father. And also, just Zane in general as a concept. It's cool to see that. And I'm curious how they're going to utilize him, if at all, again. This was a very interesting episode because a lot of the cast is gone. We're left with Jay and Nia and the police. So, because Ronan mysteriously disappeared. I'm sure he'll be back again to save the day in Deus Ex Machina form in the next 2 episodes. But for now, it was a very Jay and Nia-centric episode. And we got a lot of exposition, I guess you could say, on their characters and their relationship in general. And I feel this is going to be a point of contention. How do you guys think that whole sequence worked?
Well, when I first watched it, I thought it was, really, really cool. It had, quote-unquote solved all of the issues I had with, their romance. But then, I rewatched it, and I noticed, it was kind of contradictory to, stuff that had already happened. Nia was suddenly oh, this is it was love at first sight when I first saw you. But she was also... they broke up, and then she, was ignoring him, earlier in the season, and it just... I don't understand that.
Nope, nor do I. I feel that, admittedly, I'll, preface this by saying it's been a while since I actually watched the older episodes of Ninjago, so I am admittedly a little hazy on the history of Jay and Nia.
No,
but
I remember the older episodes pretty well.
It does seem that, and I'll use my guide here, that it kind of is a little more, like you said, contradictory, especially to recent years, because they were a couple, and that was fine. That was character stuff. Then they broke up. That's also fine. Character growth. Then Cole was introduced into the mix through a machine that told Nia that he was her perfect match, which caused a very contrived, forced, and kind of one-sided for a while love triangle to come out and be a prominent focus when it really shouldn't have been. Then all of a sudden Cole returned her feelings out of nowhere, even though that was never shown prior to that. And then, all of a sudden, this season, Nia was pretty adamant in the early episodes. This is never going to happen. Neither of them. I am not interested in relationships. I am my own person. I'm not going to do any of this. And, well, now, all of a sudden, it's like this. They're portraying them as some great romance that, like, not only did Jay see the vision of the future with them together, but I saw it too, but not really. It's a metaphor for love at first sight. And I will say, it wasn't a bad scene. It was well acted. It was well portrayed, honestly.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make a lot of sense, taking into account
the way the content was portrayed was really good. It's just the content itself that was the issue.
Yeah. I feel like they could have led into it a little better. But again, I was saying, like, in the earlier episodes, it was a little heavy-handed how they were pushing, like, Nia, now that I'm a ninja, I must, like, I have to really be my own person. And I'm like, weren't you always your own person? ? Why is this being portrayed so much now? Now it's even more so. Because it's like, I suppose you could look at it with the angle of they're running with the whole I want to make my own destiny angle. Everyone always told me what I should be in life, and now I want to be the one to decide this. But I also feel that in doing so earlier in the season, they gave off the wrong impression by, like, her having that talk with Jay, saying, like, I'm not interested in you at all. We're never going to be together. Get over it, in a kind way. But that directly runs contrary to what we're seeing on screen right now. So their attempts to build her character, to be honest, only serve to confuse me more about what her character actually is like.
Yeah.
At least in this one aspect. Other than this, I feel like Nia as a character is pretty well defined. And she's pretty cool. But
yeah.
It's a little strange. LJ, what'd you think?
Alright, I'm gonna try and keep it brief because I really gotta go.
Shoot.
I liked the episode. I actually liked it quite a little bit because I liked the interaction between Nia and Jay. I did not actually realize those contradictions till you pointed them out, Purple. But yeah, Nia was a little bit flip-floppy. I actually really liked her explanation for things. I liked that she just wanted to have a say in the matter. I didn't like how she kept on saying that she didn't have a well-defined being until, like, recently, I guess, because that was never the case. She's always been well established as a competent character, a competent person who's constantly bailing the ninja out and being a huge help to them in incredibly significant ways. And she's never been told she couldn't be what she wants to be. She just kind of needed to be something else at that moment. She could totally have gone and been like, I'm the samurai of water now. She never had to be the ninja of water.
Yeah. That would have been really
She
cool.
could have. I'm not saying that would have been good.
She could put water guns on the Samurai X and do the same thing.
Could have. She totally could have. It's like she could have just done that. And the thing that happened between her and Jay, I never realized they broke up. Like, there was never that conversation. Because
Yeah,
this
it
all,
was
this,
sort of
this all
implied.
started in Rebooted, and the thing happened with Cole. Cole was oblivious. Jay was the only one that really made a fuss about it because he noticed Nia being a bit flaky, because Nia, I guess, suddenly became infatuated because of a program. It
Yeah, if
made
you don't
very
want
little
people
sense.
to tell you what you're like or what you're supposed to do, how about you stop letting a machine tell you what to do, literally.
It's really, really strange how that whole thing occurred. I don't like how this started. I don't like how it's come full circle then, because it didn't need to come full circle. However, it's fine. Nia's gotten some character development because apparently she needed it, and that's fine. I liked her explanation. I liked that she really just wanted to have a say in the matter, and that she just did. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought that was really great. It's going to strike a great chord with a lot of people, and I'm glad it was in there. I'm glad we had that scene. I didn't like the contradictions because you pointed them out, Purple. Thank you for that. I like the action. I like the fight scenes. I like some of the humor. I like the setup. Echo Zane was kind of funny. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. There were some things that were quite questionable, but I am super, super excited to see the next two. Jay is the best ninja, easily, and, you know, I'm glad that we kind of share half of a name, but I'm excited.
Yeah, like, the last thing I'll say is that in regards to Nia, I criticize that a lot, but I suppose if you discount the stuff that happened in the past, and you don't hold, like, Rebooted, if you don't hold this season accountable for Rebooted's mistakes, and all the contradictions that can cause, it was a very well done scene, if you actually look at it from the perspective of, maybe they realized they made a mistake with that, and that people didn't like it. That's just me speculating. I don't actually know. But perhaps this is just them trying to remedy past mistakes, and if it causes a few contradictions along the way, perhaps that is just necessary to establishing a better character. I don't know. That's up to you to decide, I guess.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say is I was pretty sad that Flintlock and Nautica, like, Flintlock's been reduced to, like, the lower rung, because he tried to stage a mutiny, because I like the pirate crew, but then I realized the season's almost over. So this was bound to happen eventually. We have 2 more episodes. It's just the season's flying by to the point where I almost didn't realize it was about to end. So,
Yep.
that's honestly it. Next time, we are going to be talking about the last 2 episodes in Ninjago Skybound, and I am really looking forward to discussing them with you. This season's on track to either be one of my favorites or not so much, depending on how the season is wrapped up, so I am eagerly awaiting its end. And as always, be sure to check us out on Vessel at vessel.com/TTV channel for 1 week early access to all of our content, as well as board.ttvpodcast.com if you'd like to discuss these episodes or any of our other content over there. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Messinek.
I'm LJ.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
And we'll see you all next time for the finale of Ninjago Skybound. Goodbye.